It's a sheer pleasure for us to welcome Rhea Punjabi to speak in this session. And the topic of this session is going to be how to find a job using modern job search strategies. So, Rhea is a corporate trainer and a career coach, having trained more than 14,000 people in their careers. Her professional background is a mixed bag of diverse industries where she wore various hats and she has worked with multiple companies. She has been featured in over 40 articles by the biggest publications in the country, and we are excited to have her on board and talk on this particular topic, which is a very interesting one for a lot of college students and young professionals here. So, over to you, Ria.
Thank you so much, Swapnil. Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Comment and let me know how's the Josh. So I guess you have been attending sessions, you've been gaining a lot of value. So what's the energy like? What's the Josh like? Comment and let me know. Today,
I have enabled the public chat now so people can chat.
super, super. Thank you. So I do see a bunch of people are typing things out. That's good to know. Devansh is excited. Bhavtosh says energy is high. That's awesome. What about others? So, what motivates you to come for today's session? Today's session is all about finding a job using the modern job search strategies. What motivated you to be here to attend a session on modern job search strategies? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking to learn new techniques, hacks? What is it? What motivated you? So Himanshi says curious. That's nice to know. So I love curious learners. I'm myself one of them. So I'm just going to hang on for a few seconds because I see a lot of people typing. Awesome, Devansh. So yes, the techniques that I share with you today will definitely help you to go ahead and accelerate, advance in your career. And how they are going to help you is because you're no longer going to be dependent on the traditional way of doing the job search. So when you hear traditional job search, what comes to your mind? How do you think traditional job search is different from what we do in 2023? Think about it. What is traditional job search for you? So I'm holding on because I see a lot of people are typing. Attending fairs, apply physically, career fairs, creating profile on Naukri. Absolutely, that's a thing of past, to be honest. Yes, absolutely. So when you say traditional, think of it. Himanshi referrals would be traditional, but they continue till today. So while traditional, a very important source of getting job interview calls still today. Referrals by approach, yeah. But the way of getting referrals has changed. You've got newer methods of asking for referrals as well. So that brings me back to my question. When you say traditional, you are talking about attending fairs, career fairs, applying on Naukri, and so on, right? Think of, I'm not sure what is your age group, but I'm sure you would have seen in some movie or heard from some family member how typically earlier people used to search for jobs. So let's go back to the 1900s, 1930s, 40s. People were not too choosy. For them, it was getting their like their essentials in place. My bread butter should happen at home. My roti sabzi should come on my plate. So people weren't that choosy. What they used to do earlier is just take a bunch of resumes, their own resumes, and start walking down the street. And wherever they felt, okay, this looks like a decent company or a tiny office, it looks decent, they would just walk in, ask if there's any vacancy, and apply for those roles. Okay, and of course those roles were not specialist roles, they were more so generalist roles, more like admin work, receptionist work, and maybe some probably filling in excel sheets and all of that, right? So That was earlier. Then you started seeing ads in newspapers, classifieds, as we say, right? Where people would go through the newspaper, take a pen with them, circle the different job openings, start calling those companies saying, I've seen an ad, or they would walk in again, right? Then you also would have seen or heard of career fairs, since you mentioned career fairs. A lot of it still happens today, but for the kind of specialist roles that you and I aim for, they won't happen in career fairs. Okay, so career fairs are like multiple companies coming under one umbrella. Think of it this way: you enter a nice five-star hotel, you go to the banquet of that hotel, and the moment you enter the banquet, you see 20 stalls. How you go in an exhibition and you see multiple stalls. So those stalls are your companies, and they have certain job openings. You walk into every stall, look at the job opening, you submit your resume. If they feel you are a good fit, they interview you for 15 minutes or so. And typically on the same day, they have series of interviews. And if needed, they'll call you again to the office to roll out an offer letter, right? Or even to kind of do more of interviews with you. So those are job fairs. Now, earlier they used to work a lot because, again, we were not heavily dependent on social media or digital media for that matter. We didn't have a lot of tools the way we have today, right? We didn't have LinkedIn back in the past. So, this is traditional. Now, the problem is that these methods that we just discussed, while they still exist, including Naukri, including Indeed, including Monster, they still exist. There's no denying. But you cannot rely on them to get a good job. You just cannot rely solely on them. Yes, you may want to apply to a Naukri, you may want to apply to an Indeed, but remember the response that you get using the modern job search methods, you're not going to get that same response or that quick response through Naukri or Indeed, right? So now the question comes, what exactly are hiring managers looking for? Before I move to the modern method, let's understand what are they looking for in order to fill a vacancy. Okay, yes, definitely they're looking at people who are smart, who are dedicated, who are talented, who have the skills and so on. But they're also looking for one more thing, and I'm going to be blatantly honest here with you. Would you want to know what that one thing is? Give me one in the chat box if you know what is that one thing that they are looking for. What exactly are hiring managers looking for? If you want to know that one thing, put one thing in the chat box and I'm going to tell you what it is. Initiative, okay? There's one thing specifically that they want. Online presence, confidence. Yes, yes, definitely. There's one thing. All of this is definitely there. But apart from all this, they also want one thing. That one thing is shortcut. Yes, good communication, confidence, all of that. They want a complete package, but they also want a shortcut. Remember, I'm going to be blatantly honest, as I mentioned. A hiring manager does not get paid extra money to hire the perfect candidate. He does not get extra perks to hire the perfect candidate. For him, if he gets a good enough candidate, he is happy. Because, come on, let's face it, he knows that this candidate, whomever I hire, is not going to be there in my company for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. We are in the age where people take jumps often. So I don't recommend jumping, switching jobs pretty often, but on an average, if you spend 2 years per company, that's good enough. Okay, in today's day and age. So this guy, this hiring manager knows that this person is not going to last in my company for more than 2, 3 years. So I should not spend a lot of time or energy to search the perfect candidate because, come on, let's face it, I'm not getting anything out of it. Yes, I may have a good team member, but a good enough candidate is fine for that, right? So what he does is different compared to what you do. Okay, you as a candidate, let's look at your process of searching for a job. You take the longer route, he wants the shorter route. You, as a candidate, what do you do first? Come on, tell me. If you're looking for a job, what do you do first? You send your resume? Yeah. Before sending the resume, what do? You make it, right? You spend your time, energy creating a good resume, which is essential. It's a non negotiable. You should do it. So you make your resume, you float it around. Then what do? Where do you float it around? After making the resume, where do you float it around? So we are understanding the process, all right? We are looking at your process of applying for a job. You make a resume, you shortlist companies, you go to their company page. Okay, that's good to know, Devansh. You seek out referrals. Okay. What else do you do? After shortlisting companies, do you apply to them? You read the JD? Yes. Then what do? You message hiring managers, you customize your resume as per JD? Yes. Beautiful. What do you do after that? So I want to understand your job search process. Yes, Devansh, I'll wait for you to comment. Oh, or are you saying wait? Do you mean to say you seek out referrals and you wait? Are you saying that? You message hiring managers and you wait? Are you saying that? Wait for replies. Okay, fine, fine. Yes, I will. Skill set they want. Okay. Prepare cover letter. Yeah. Wait for replies from hiring managers. Yes, now you I get your message clearly. You wait for the replies. Absolutely. So if I have to like just kind of give you a structure, you make your resume, then you float it around. Okay, you go to different job portals, you go to LinkedIn, you go to Naukri, you go to Indeed, you post, you apply to various jobs. Okay, then you keep waiting. Someday they will respond. You see no response. Then during this time, you also try to think, let me do something different. So when your applying stage comes to applying to job portals, you also talk to a couple of friends that, hey, you're working in Amazon, hey, you're working in Flipkart. Could you please forward my resume? Could you please refer me? Okay, that happens. But these are only your friends. You've not got out of your comfort zone yet. But when these things also don't work, what do you do next? You go ahead and you now get in touch with recruiters. Who are recruiters? These are the people who don't work in the company. They are not employees of the company, but they get candidates for this company. And what are they getting in return? They are getting 1 month salary when you complete your probation period, right? So when you go to recruiters, more or less, you get sorted. I would say more or less. Okay. Then let's say you don't get sorted there. That's when you want to go further out of your comfort zone. Most of the people give up here, by the way, because they are not comfortable making a video resume, they're not comfortable making a portfolio and all of that. But there will be that segment of people who'll say, okay, let me go ahead and take some initiative. Let me make a portfolio, let me make a video resume, let me reach out to companies in a different way to prove that I am good at my work. I'm not just telling in my resume, I'm proving by showing my work. Okay. And if nothing of this clicks, then you're like, okay, I don't like my current job, but since I'm not getting the role that I want, so this is for people who are looking for transitions. They say, since I'm not getting the role that I want, let me take an IJP, internal job posting. Okay, this is your method, candidate's method. So yeah, Bhavtosh says preparing for most frequently asked questions, apply for jobs, follow. Absolutely. So this is the process you guys are following. Now look at the now look at the hiring manager. Okay, remember he wants a shortcut. For him, a good enough candidate is fine. So what he does is he does it completely the opposite way. He will first ask in his own company, we have a vacancy in our team. Would anyone from our company like to apply? Internal job posting, basically. Okay. Now, most of the times the vacancies are filled there. Let's say the vacancy is not filled there. Then the hiring manager will go one level up and say, okay, fine, let me see if some profiles are standing out. So he will go on LinkedIn and see if somebody has taken an effort to make a video resume, somebody's made a portfolio, or somebody's done something different, which caught his attention, and then he contacts that person. Okay. Till now, what has happened? Internal referrals. He did not post anything on LinkedIn or Naukri on their careers page. When he went to LinkedIn to search for good profiles, he did not post anything about the job opening, right? Then, if even this doesn't work, then he says, okay, now let me start shelling out some money out of my pocket. And that's when he reaches out to hiring, to recruitment agencies. He goes and puts it up on Naukri, IM Jobs, LinkedIn, and so on, and then he starts getting in candidates. Now look at your process and look at their process. So now what you need to do, I hope you're getting the point. Do it the other way around. Don't waste your time and energy applying to job portals when the easier route is either an IJP, internal job posting. If you're not happy with an IJP, you are going to reach out to people on your own. Okay, and that is the modern way of searching for jobs. Why are you going to reach out to people on your own? Because 80% of the jobs that are there in the market today, they are hidden. What do you mean by hidden jobs? What do you understand by hidden jobs? Jobs that are not posted. So your internal job posting, not posted. Going and checking profiles on LinkedIn, job is not posted. Sometimes with recruiters, by the way, I'm a recruiter for real estate in Gulf, and I can tell you for a fact that companies don't post these job openings online. They come to us recruiters and say, please go ahead and you search for candidates wherever you want and tell them that we have an opening, and you send them to us. Okay. So for all of these, the jobs are not posted. Now, if 80% of the jobs are hidden, doesn't that mean that majority of the vacancies are filled up before you even come to know about it? Yeah. If they are hidden, that means they are filled up also quickly without you even being aware that the dream company that you wanted to work for actually had an opening which you could fill out, which you could actually apply to, right? So, with the modern job search strategies, which I'm going to start the next minute, is that you can tap into the hidden job market by doing the techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Are you ready for the first technique? Yes, give me a ready in the chat box if you are ready. Super. So the first technique, and I strongly abide by this, this works even if you are a freelancer. Let's say you're not looking for a job right now, but you want to get freelance gigs. This technique works even over there. It's called informational interviews. Okay. Informational interviews. What do you understand by the words informational interviews? What do you understand from the words informational interviews? Get to know about the company? Yeah, absolutely. Then what do you do? From their representative? Absolutely. Build network? Super. So, in an informational interview, it's just an informal interview, okay? And it's not a job interview, it's just an informal interview with one of the employees in your dream company where you just have a catch up with them. You're just chatting up with them, and preferably a video call. But if that does not happen, even a phone call is okay. Even discussing on email is fine. Okay. So, what you do is your whole objective of an informational interview is to have a contact in that company which will help you or who will help you to get a job. But you don't ask for a job. That's the best part. You act like a consultant and not like a job seeker. Your goal is to get the job, but you don't act like a job seeker. You act as a consultant. What is the difference? What is the difference between a consultant versus a job seeker? What do you think is the difference? Yeah, asking for advice rather than the job. Okay. So it is asking for advice to do something later. What is that later? I will explain it in the next few minutes. So let's understand how do you go about with an informational interview. Okay, just to repeat, an informational interview is nothing but you reaching out to one of the employees in the company to take advice on your career or to understand the field better, and later on you send them something, okay, with the intention to get a job, but you don't ask for a job. Let's understand this further. So first step in order to do this process is to first note down your 5 companies you want to work for. Okay, let's do this exercise together. Take a few seconds and note down 5 companies where you want to work. You may want to note it in the chat box or in your notepads, wherever you are comfortable. 5 companies where you want to work. Your list of 5 dream companies. When you're done, give me a done in the chat box. Once you're done writing, give me a done. Super. So I can see Himanshi is done. What about others? Super. Even Bhavtosh is done. I'm guessing even others are done writing their 5 companies. Now the next step is to see at what role you can apply to these companies. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say you can apply as, I'm taking something very basic. Okay, let's say a social media executive. Let's say you're 21, 22, you are a fresher, probably you've done a bunch of internships, and now you want to apply to a company as as a social media executive. Okay, now if I'm a social media executive, who will be my boss? My boss would be a digital marketing manager or a social media manager. Okay. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to LinkedIn. In fact, let me share my screen and do that with you. Give me a moment. Just one second. I'm quickly logging into, yeah. So I'm here on my LinkedIn screen. Okay. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to click here. Let's say I want to apply to Amazon. So I type Amazon. And now I want to apply as a social media executive, which means that I need to talk to somebody in that team who is a decision maker. Decision maker means he or she takes interviews or has a say in hiring the candidate. So let's say if I'm applying as a social media executive, the manager is a decision maker. So I added that keyword. If there is something specific that you want, let's say he should be very good with Facebook, then you can write Facebook. Or he should be very good with LinkedIn because the role you want to apply for should have a lot of LinkedIn. You can add that additional keyword. If you don't have an additional keyword, let it be and type the name of the city. Okay, I hope this is clear. You type your company name, you type the decision maker who's usually 1 or 2 levels above you. He has a say in the hiring process. And then if you have some additional keywords, like in social media, it should be LinkedIn or it should be Facebook or it should be Instagram. You can put those keywords and then you put the city and you hit enter. Okay. Now I'm going to click on see all people results. And there you go. I have 13 results. Okay. Now I just need to go through these 13 profiles and see who seems the best fit to help me. And help meaning these one of them who takes decisions. Okay. And I need to also see the city. Okay, because see, city is not very important, but more so when the headquarters are in that company, it matters. Okay, so let's say I go through her profile, Ruhi Chetia. Now I see that she is not very active on LinkedIn. So my efforts will go, and she's also working in Myntra now. She's no longer with Amazon. So it does not make sense to contact her. She's not even active. So being active on LinkedIn is one of our other criterias. The person needs to be active on LinkedIn. So now I'll go to Anjali's profile. I'll do the same. I'll just go through her profile. 441. When was her last post? I'll quickly check. 4 days back, she'd put up a post, which is not bad. She's fairly active on LinkedIn. And now I see she's not working with Amazon. So she probably was with Amazon in 2021. Not a good lead for me again. So this way, I'm just going to go through some profiles. And so just give me one moment. I'll just try to search for a profile. Okay, what I'll do is I'll put Amazon in double quotes because I want the keyword Amazon to be there. Okay. So let's see if that makes any difference. It's not making any difference. So now you can see this is a beautiful example I tried to share with you, but I'm not able to find anyone who is a social media manager in Amazon. So what I'll do is I'll change my query. Okay. So let me say digital marketing manager. You have to play around with your keywords. And now in this case, let me say for me, Instagram matters a lot. He or she uh, should play a great role when it comes to Instagram. So again, it's not helping me. Let me change it further. Okay. Now there you go. I've got 28 results. She's a brand specialist, digital marketing at AWS. So see, the moment I change my keywords, I get better, better results. So now this person, okay, PPC. So this is good for people who want SEO related or probably Google ad related roles. Okay, brand manager. So you can go through these profiles. For example, I'm just taking one example for now. Let's say she is the person. I went through her profile, 500 plus connections. This is great. Let's see her activity. She's not very active, but she's got 5,000, which is a good number for us. Probably she comes to LinkedIn, but she does not post, she does not like, she does not comment. That also can happen. But this gives me a hint. She's got 5,000 connections. Okay. And she is working with Amazon and she's got a job 11 months back. Okay. So let's assume that she is a decision maker. Okay. What I'll do next is I'll connect with her. And when I connect with her, this is very, very important. I'm going to click on add a note. Okay. I'm going to add a note, and right here itself, I'm going to tell her request for an informational interview. Okay. What does that mean? I'm going to type out a tiny note for her to tell her that, hey, I really would request your time to take an informational interview. And now I have to personalize this. I'm not going to copy paste my note for everyone. Okay. So it would go something like, hello, what's her name? Hello, Sharmishta. Hello, Sharmishta. My name is so and so. And I came across your profile while I was searching for individuals who are from this industry to this industry. So try to take people, search for people who transitioned from your industry to, let's say, e-commerce, or let's say who got into social media roles. Okay. Then you can say that your journey actually caught my attention. So even if this line is not there, try to find something which you really like about their profile. It could be anything. Just say, like, for example, in this case, one second. So in this case, what stands out for me is that she's from fashion and marketing. Okay, so she's a person who has probably, okay, she's done an MBA. She's from NIFT. She's done fashion. She studied fashion, and then she got into e-commerce industry. So you can say something like, I what caught my attention towards your profile is your beautiful transition from fashion to e-commerce. And I can totally imagine how difficult the shift, or how challenging the shift would have been. I would be thrilled to learn more about your experience, to learn more about getting some insights about this industry, and have the opportunity to ask you a few questions. Okay, you're going to just put it in your own words. The point is, you're telling her that I just need some time of yours to understand these things. Okay, and then you can say, I understand that you must be busy. If you could just spare 15 to 20 minutes, that would be great. If not, I'm okay to send my questions on email as well. Okay, that's it. And then you send the note to this person. Now, this way you're going to send to 10 other people. Okay, or if you want to go slow, you start with your 5 dream companies that you've mentioned today. Okay. Now remember that the world, you may think, who's going to give me 15, 20 minutes time? The world is not all that bad. Out of 10 people, in my experience, when you message 10, one definitely responds and says, hey, I'm willing to give you my time. So it's only a numbers game. Today, you may want to message 5 people, from 5 different people, 5 different dream companies, right? Tomorrow, you'll go for 10, you'll go for 15. Okay. And remember that if you are sending an informational interview request to this person from Amazon, don't send it to other people in Amazon yet. Wait, see if the person is responding, send a follow up message. If they still don't respond, then that's when you can search for another profile and send them the same message. Okay, same, or tweak it a bit depending on what is written in their profile. Now, as I mentioned, out of 10, there'll be that one person who will want to go ahead and, kind of, 1 second, I just want to stop sharing my screen. There will be that one person who will say, yes, let's hop on a call and I'll help you out. Okay. Now, the moment you know that this person is going to help you, you quickly prepare 5 questions that you can ask them. Okay. You can ask them about how challenging was their transition, what is life in Amazon. So try to understand the culture of the company. You could ask them about what are some challenges that he or she overcame. What are some lessons they learned? So anything, ask any information that will help you to make something special for them. What does that make something special? You're going to create something to showcase your skills. Okay. And one question which I say is a non-negotiable is asking them, what are the challenges the team is facing currently? Please ask this question, because this question can literally, the answer to this question can literally help you prepare something really amazing. Okay. And then fine, the interview ends. Then you take 1 to 2 days time and you prepare something for them, and then you send them an email. Take their email ID, send them a thank you email saying thank you so much for the information. So the subject line could be something like, thank you for the informational interview and a customized solution. Or you could just say an subject line like, idea for social media marketing campaign for Amazon. Okay, so assuming you are from social media background. And then in that email, first thing you do is you thank them. You say, thank you so much for the informational interview. Truly gratitude that you gave me your time. And then you tell them that the advice that you gave me on this, I actually started implementing, and these are some amazing results that I have already. Or you can just say, I thought about them and this is my plan. I'm going to implement them this way. And you can also say that I remember that you mentioned about this problem or this challenge that the team was facing. And I got so inspired that I decided to create a project to address this issue. And then you say, I've put together a project on the brand campaign or whatever social media strategy or SEO audit, whatever thing you've made for them. And then say, I've attached this project to the email. If you have some time, I would like to walk you through this project on a call. Okay. And then you just end the email. Now, throughout the email or throughout the informational interview, you've not asked for a job even once. You've behaved like a consultant, right? what have you done? A consultant asks the problems, and then the consultant is giving the solutions by way of a project, right? After that, you send it to them. Now, what's going to happen is that the company is going to be surprised. They're going to love that you took some extra effort. So, this person will say, yes, let's get on a call. I would love to know more. Or they may say, hey, this looks very interesting. I'll connect you to the right team member, or this team member will join us on the call. Great. You explain it on the call, the project, and after that, you just thank them again and you wrap up the call. Okay. You don't ask for any help. Now, what you do after this is you connect with the person on LinkedIn in case you haven't connected. Let's say you got their email ID through a referral or something. So now you need to connect with them on LinkedIn, and you need to start engaging with their posts. Okay. So when I say engaging with their posts, it does not just mean putting a thumbs up or saying absolutely correct, I totally agree. You don't want to put those kind of comments. You want to put some sensible, valuable comments. Okay, let me just try sharing my LinkedIn screen again with you to show you examples of some comments. Just give me a moment. Okay, so let's look at this. Is a random post I've picked up. Okay, so wouldn't ideally be the, okay, this is related to dance day. So let's try to take some value-based post. Okay, let's see, this is a really good post. Okay, he's talking about entrepreneurship and so on. There are 196 comments. Now, this is a great post. This is a great comment. This person has taken time to write 5 lines and has put it in a nice bullet format. Okay. He is not saying, wow, it's amazing, it's fantastic. He's not stopping at that. He's sharing his point of view. So you need to do this. Why you need to do this is because this person with whom you had an informational interview, he will tend to remember and notice comments which are larger and valuable. It's not only the quantity, it's also the quality. And when he kind of likes your comment and he posts, people in his network are also seeing your profile. People in his network are also seeing your comment, and they click on your name and go through your profile, right? So you want to mention, you want to be sure that you're engaging with his or her posts. Once in a while, when you try their strategies, you could comment and tell them, I tried that strategy that you had suggested and it did wonders. These are the results that I got, right? So ensure that you keep the association going, and whenever you do something new, you may just want to inform them. Don't bug them too much by sharing about every project, but if you've done something really exceptional, you can share it with them, and you can say, I think this also could help Amazon. All right. And in all of this, you should get a job, like a job interview invitation call from them, or a freelance gig call. If that does not happen, now the person is responding to you, they are liking your comment, they are replying to you. Now it's a safe time to ask them for a job. You can say, I'm really excited to be a part of Amazon. I've been thinking about it right from the time we had the informational interview, right from the time I made that project. I just wanted to check if there are any vacancies. And now this is a much better way of getting a job offer versus you going to a Naukri, Indeed, or directly sending a cold email to the person that please give me a job. Yeah, you're building the relationship. This relationship will now go on. Even if he leaves Amazon and he joins some other company, the relationship goes on. He'll connect you to his network because you've given true value, right? And he will also go ahead and offer you a job. I hope this is making sense. This is the modern way of looking for a job. So this was technique 1. Technique 2 is, yes, you can cold email people. So I'm just going to tell you the other techniques, and of course, you could try them by yourselves. So technique 2 is cold emailing. You have a lot of tools out there like Hunter, like Snov, like Find That Lead. You just use these tools to scrape out so when I say scraping, it's not illegal. I just want to make that loud and clear. You're just using these tools to go ahead and extract, let me use the word extract the email IDs of decision makers, and then you send them an email, a cold email, saying, I'm looking for a job opportunity and I saw there's an opening. Or even if you didn't see there's an opening, you can say, if there's an opening, please consider my profile. All right. Now, again, in the cold email for my top 5 companies, I try to create something of value to them, even if I've not had an informational interview. Okay. I try to just talk to people around me, research a bit on Google, and then come up with some solutions that I can give them. All right. But remember, cold emailing, only 1 to 2% are the open rates. So I'm not saying it's a bad technique. It's a fantastic technique, but it's a game of numbers. You need to message 100 people in order to get response from 2 people, right? Responses from 2 people. So that's the second job search strategy. The third is to be very, very, very active on LinkedIn, like a personal branding approach. And once in a while, you can showcase. So you have to showcase your work every time, but once in a while, you can showcase your work in a way that proves that you are a good fit. So there in the post itself, you'll mention that I'm open to job opportunities. Would really help if some would really it would be really great if somebody could review my work. Here's a link to my portfolio and let me know if you have any openings. Okay, so do that. Don't just upload your resume, upload your work. Your resume should not be uploaded anywhere except your LinkedIn featured section. So your LinkedIn profile has a featured section. That's where you can upload your resume, but you don't have to keep uploading it in your posts. Just tell people this is my work. Feel free to contact me if there's any opening in your company, right? So these are some ways in which you can seek out jobs in a cluttered market like that. Of course, the other ways are making a video resume, or going ahead and doing something special. Okay, now just before we wrap up the session, of course I'll take up Q&As, but one last thing before we wrap up the session from my end is, in the informational interview, what kind of a sample, like what kind of a customized solution should you send? So I just wanted to show you a sample. Give me a moment. So this is one example of one of the candidates who wanted to apply to Airbnb after the informational interview. So I don't know the candidate by myself. This is some sample that I researched and I got. So this candidate created a customized solution for Airbnb. So they went ahead and did the user experience analysis and shared a proposal. So this is what they did. They went ahead, researched, understood the pain points, and of course the pain points also came out in the informational interview, and then searched for a lot of samples all over the internet. Went ahead and created some proposal. Okay, so they did some testing, found the solution, gave some design solutions. So given some examples on how Airbnb look and feel can change, and then gave some more examples. So what they did is they literally took screenshots of the customers saying they're not happy with the UI UX, they are not happy with customer service not helping them out. So he literally took proofs and tried to find solutions and create a 9-page document, suggested even live chat for that matter, right? So this is an example of something that you can create for the company after the informational interview and share it with them. Okay, either you create a document like this, or you can just shoot a video and share your screen on that video and send a link to that video. Whatever format works for you and your role also. Maybe if you're doing SEO, probably the best idea for you would be to make a deck, or to make some sort of a research keyword analysis report or something. So the format of the file, it could be PDF, it could be Excel, it could be anything, but the point is that it should add a lot of value and show that you are going to be a great fit to the company, right? So that's how you go about searching for jobs the modern way. You're no longer trying to go as a job seeker, you're going as a consultant. Use the consultant approach. Okay. Apart from this, I think we all use Chat GPT as well. So make good use of Chat GPT. You can go ahead and tell ChatGPT that I want to appear for an informational interview with this person. Could you tell me some questions that I can ask? Let's do one together before we wrap up this session. Um, Okay, so
Anyone who has any questions can post their questions in the chat box in the meantime.
yeah, sure. So let's say I want to message Sharmishta. So I'll just take her profile. Just give me 1 second. I'll copy her name and her designation. So let's say I want to have an informational interview with, let's just check her designation. Give me one moment. Who is a brand specialist in Amazon. Her LinkedIn URL is, and I'll just paste her LinkedIn URL. I am keen on knowing more about branding and the challenges her team is facing. Okay. Give me a list of 5 questions that I should ask her in the informational interview. The end goal of the interview is to get enough information to create a solution for her and her team to solve their challenges. Okay, so I've just created a prompt right now, and let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, so make good use of technology. You can also tell ChatGPT to write an informational interview note for you, 300-word note, and then you tweak it a bit. You don't want to copy paste it as it is. You want to add your own, like your own personality to it. So tweak it a bit so that your tone is reflected in the messages. So can you walk me through your role? What are some biggest challenges your team and you are facing? Give me some examples of branding campaigns. How does Amazon approach brand management? So there you go. How does Amazon stay ahead of competition? So these are some good questions that you can ask in a 15 to 20 minutes interview call, right? Informational interview call. Great. So awesome. I think I hope you found value in today's session, and I'm now open to Q&As. I do see some questions in the chat box. I'll take those up. But in case you have more questions, just feel free to unmute. I think the team would have given you access to unmute. Feel free to unmute and ask me your questions as well. Would love to have a quick chat with you rather than just kind of looking at your questions on the chat box. So
I so the permission has been granted for people to unmute themselves and speak up. So if
mhm.
anyone wishes to do so, just unmute yourself.
Yeah, feel free to unmute. It's always good to communicate rather than just be typing in the chat box. I always encourage a lot of interactions. So think of your question, and I will unmute you. Yes, Chetna, please feel free to unmute and ask me your question.
Chetna, you can ask the question.
Okay. Yeah, Chetna.
I believe people have. Chetna, you'll have to click on the
Hello,
join audio.
am I
Okay,
audible?
yeah. You are
Yes.
Devansh,
Hello.
you're audible.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that while, like, once you secure a role, how do you know if you're being compensated fairly in this treacherous job market?
So see, there are tools like Glassdoor where you can go and figure out what is the salary range. So you should definitely do your research by going to Glassdoor. LinkedIn earlier had LinkedIn salary, but they've kind of scrapped that. So you can check Glassdoor. You can check Ambition Box. There's another website called Ambition Box. You can check the salaries there. And the third, and I think the best, would be to talk to people or like your friends who are in the industry and figure out what is an average package, right? Whatever salary you see on Glassdoor or Ambition Box, I would bump it up by a couple of lakhs. So let's say, just for the lack of a better example, now let's say the salary is around 5 lakhs. Okay, if the salary is showing 5 lakhs on Glassdoor, I will bump it up to a 6.5, 7 lakhs, because I know there's going to be negotiation. Yeah. So you need to use tools and you need to talk to people in your network to find out the salaries. Hope that answers your
Thank you
question.
so much.
Great.
Hello.
Yes, Chetna. Hi.
Hi, Rhea. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. So, my question is that I want to make my resume um, basically according to the job posting that different companies have made on either Naukri or maybe LinkedIn. So,
Mhm.
how do I make sure that my resume and the cover letter that I want to attach stands out with the rest of the crowd?
You mentioned that you want to apply through Naukri and LinkedIn.
Yeah, Naukri, LinkedIn, and Internshala. So, yeah.
What do you do currently?
So I have graduated recently, and I am pursuing a course in digital marketing.
Awesome. So because it is digital marketing, you should ideally do something that proves your work. Okay, like maybe I mean, it can be as wacky as actually running an ad to show that you have the skills to run an ad, right? Running an ad saying, please hire me. Even those things really work nowadays. So you could go as crazy as that. But since you're asking me about Naukri LinkedIn, my suggestion would be there are tools like JobScan. I should put that in the chat box for you guys. So there are tools like JobScan. There's a tool like Resi. There is Resume Worded. So all these tools, what they do is they ask you for your job description to the company that you want to apply for, and they tell you to upload your resume, and then they match the keywords and they give you a match score. Now, if that matching score is less than 80%, that means there's a high probability that your resume is going to get rejected. So what you do is they give you a lot of suggestions. So you just keep following those suggestions and you ensure that the score is above 80% before you even apply to those companies. So the long answer short is go to these websites, look at your match score, make it minimum 80, and then apply to these companies. Yeah. Hope that helps, Chetna.
Yes, Riya. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, any more questions? We'd love to take them up.
So, if anyone has any further questions,
Mhm.
you can feel free to reach out to Ria on her LinkedIn through the method that she already shared with you. And I'm sure she will be more than happy to share her insights with everyone.
Yeah,
And also, thank you so much for joining the session, everyone. And Ria, thank you so much for such an insightful session, because this is a strategy that I haven't heard a lot of people using it, but it has come across like my attention a couple of times, and it's always proven to be a really nice strategy for people who are applying for jobs. So, thank you so much for sharing it with everyone who's attending here.
thank you everyone. Thank you, Bhavtosh, for your kind words.